Good morning, students. Welcome to Zoology webinars of Model School for the senior intern. In the previous session, Journey from Mother's Womb to Planet Earth, we have covered in human anatomy and physiology, the female reproductive system and also the male reproductive system. So in that sessions, we have covered the structure, isn't it? And the functioning of the reproductive system parts, isn't it? Now, today let us learn about more clearly about the gametogenesis, fertilization, and the formation of embryo, and at last, the parturition or delivery of the baby. Now, today we have with us Mrs. Prashanti, PGT, from Chikrumamadi, from Karimnagar districts. We welcome ma'am. Good morning, madam.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, one and all.
Yeah. Yes, please continue the session, madam.
Shanti, Model School, Mulkanur, Nagar. Yeah. I thank Shaila with me, madam, giving me this opportunity. Yeah, today's topic is the continuation of the female reproductive system. That is from the will be interested, excited to know how human body works, isn't it? Yes, we have come from a single cell. Then how do a whole remains one of the deepest enigma. Nature has given magical power only to the woman to become pregnant and to give birth to a child. So this will be studying in our present topic, that is from gametogenesis to lactation. So let's dive into the topic. The important terms we learn in this topic are gametogenesis, menstrual cycle, menarche, menopause, fertilization, cleavage, morula, blastocyst, implantation, placenta, umbilical cord, pregnancy, trimester, parturition, fetal ejection reflex, lactation. Yeah, after this lesson, students, you will be able to know the male and female reproductive systems, the male and female gametes, its development, the formation, the menstrual cycle, and how the sperm travels to the egg, and also the events of pregnancy, the placenta layers, and how the mother takes pain to give birth to a baby. Yes, what is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis plays a crucial role in the continuation of generation. Yes, I'm speaking about sexual reproduction. That is involvement of two parents. So that is the egg from the female gamete and sperm from the male gamete. So gametogenesis is the process of the formation of the gametes, egg and the sperm. Yes, over here, already in the previous session, Satish sir has said you about the male reproductive system and also the hormones triggering to release the male gametes. Okay, students, when you see the hormone hypothalamus, that is stimulating gonadotropic releasing hormone to produce pituitary gland. So here the anterior pituitary that will further trigger and produce follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. The luteinizing hormone produces Leydig cells. So this works on testosterone to produce sperms in the male and produce ovum in the female. So in this way, the testes and also the ovum are being produced. So these both comprise of gametogenesis. What is spermatogenesis? So genesis means formation. Sperm, so sperm formation. So here the sperms are being produced, are formed in the testis region in the male. This is called as spermatogenesis. So then are the sperms produced from the birth itself? No. These are being produced from puberty. What is the puberty age, students, in the boys? Yes, the puberty age is 11 years. Okay, so here this spermatogonia, these have been produced right from puberty. Here we can say that the spermatogonial cell is a stem cell. that is very active. So let's see the location of the sperms. Okay, so here when you see, these are being located in the seminiferous tubule. So these are the seminiferous tubule, students, and 90% of the testis, this is being occupied by the seminiferous tubules. Yes, what is the site of the production of the sperms? Yes, it is testosterone. Testosterone triggers the production of the sperms. Right now, we'll see the steps involved in the sperm formation. Yes, they are spermatocytogenesis, spermiogenesis, spermiation. So let's see into it one after the other. First one, spermatocytogenesis. That is over here, they are being converted to spermatogonia. The second step, spermiogenesis, means the spermatids are being converting to mature sperms. The third one is spermiation, that is the release of the sperm. Here, this is a sectional view diagram of seminiferous tubules. So just see, students, here the Sertoli cells, these are being present in the cortex region. And when you see to the center, this is the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. And here the sperms are being traveling from the Sertoli cells towards the inside of the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, and later they move to the epididymis and they move via vasa deferens urethra, and these are released out. Yes, we'll see the first step, spermatocytogenesis. As I've already said, that is the sperm cells, that is the primordial germ cells, they are being start releasing, that is from puberty. This will undergo mitosis and further undergo meiosis 1 and 2 and form 4 spermatids. So we'll see in the form of flowchart. So the spermatogonial stem cells, these are diploid having 46 chromosomes. They undergo mitosis. What is mitosis, students? It is a multiplication of cells. So the spermatogonia, these are increasing in number and they form primary spermatocytes. The primary spermatocytes are also diploid having 46 chromosomes. These primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 1 and form secondary spermatocytes. Yes, you may have a doubt, then why meiosis? Yes, meiosis is necessary to form gametes. So the primary spermatocytes, they undergo meiosis 1 and form secondary spermatocytes. Here the 2n changes to n, students. So secondary spermatocytes, they are having 23 chromosomes each. The secondary spermatocytes, further by meiosis 2, they produce 4 equal sized spermatids. So we can know that from a single spermatogonia, 4 equal sized spermatids are produced. So these are immature. So this is about the spermatocytogenesis. Let's see the flowchart as a whole, students. First, the spermatogonium is undergoing mitosis and forms primary spermatocytes. These are diploid in number. Later, by the meiosis 1, they form secondary spermatocytes 2. And these 2 secondary spermatocytes, by the process of meiosis 2, they form 4 spermatids. These are immature. So by the spermiogenesis, that is the next step, they form to the mature, beautiful sperm. Let's move to the next step, spermiogenesis. So here there is no further cell division. It undergoes differentiation and maturation to form a mature sperm. Okay, the sperm has been formed. Then it has to be released out. So the releasing of the sperm is called as spermiation. Then do you know the pathway of the release of the sperm, students? Just now I have said. So that is, it moves the pathway from the Sertoli cells towards the lumen of the seminiferous tubules in the center. And from there, it moves to the epididymis. It spends a few time over there and there it gains motility and it moves via vasa deferens urethra out. So in this way, the release of the sperm is called as spermiation. Yes, the male reproductive system makes semen, release semen. What is semen? semen is a milky fluid and the sperms are present in the semen. Okay, then what is the structure of sperm and how many sperms are released? We shall be seeing. When you see a human male produces 200 to 300 million sperms in a day or per millimeter of semen. Okay, so when these many millions are released, then are all able to enter into the egg? No. From these, only 60% sperms have normal shape and size, and of that, only 40% they have, that is a vigorous motility for normal fertility. Yes, the discharge of semen from the penis is called as ejaculation. Then how many sperms are released per ejaculation? 200 to 300. Yes, we'll see the parts of the sperm. The sperm parts are head, neck, middle piece and tail. First, we'll see to the head. So this is a flat disc-like structure present, and it is 4 to 5 microns in length, and it is having nucleus. It is occupying 65% of the head and having the DNA in it. And the number of chromosomes are 23. When you go to the next part, that is acrosome. So that is the anterior, the topmost portion, which is a cap-like structure, is called as acrosome. Okay, so it contains digestive enzymes like hyaluronidase and also acrosin. These help to penetrate into the egg. So acrosome plays an important role in fertilization of the ovum. We move to the next part, that is the middle piece. Okay, so this is the middle piece, students, and here it is highly coiled and many mitochondria are present. Yes, what is the other name of mitochondria? You have learned in your 9th and 10th class biology. It is the powerhouse of the cell, isn't it, students? Yes, here mitochondria, this is being described as the middle piece of the sperm. Okay, so this gives energy for the movement of the tail. So without the movement, the sperm cannot be responsible for fertilization. So the tail is being moving by the high number of mitochondria present in the middle piece. So till now, students, I have briefed the spermatogenesis process. Let's see the oogenesis. What is oogenesis? Yes, the formation of the egg is called as oogenesis. Then where does the egg form? Eggs are being formed in the 2 ovaries. They are being present on either side of the uterus in the female reproductive system. Yes, when you see the fetal ovary, it is having millions of oogonia. Just recall the previous session which I have taught. That is, it is having millions of oogonia. And here the follicles are distributed in the cortex region. Okay, so these oogonial cells first undergo mitosis and later meiosis, and these are releasing the ovum. And how many follicles are released to students? Actually, they are having millions of follicles, but by the time they reach puberty, many follicles are degenerated. So this degeneration of follicles, by the time they reach puberty, is called as follicular atresia. So like these terms will be asked in your competitive examinations. Once again, I repeat, students, degeneration of follicles by the time they reach puberty is called as follicular atresia. So over here at puberty, only 60 to 80,000 follicles remain in the ovary. And further, they convert from secondary follicle to the tertiary follicle, that is a Graafian follicle. It matures and release the ovum. What is the process, students, releasing of the ovum? It is ovulation. So the Graafian follicles rupture to release the ovum and form corpus luteum. So once again, we see in the flowchart, students, oogonial cells, they undergo mitosis and form primary oocytes. Okay, so these are all diploid having 46 chromosomes. These primary oocytes, that is surrounded by follicular cells, these have been forming primary follicles, and they are being converting to secondary follicles and to the tertiary follicles by meiosis 1 and 2. Okay, just see students over here. This has been undergoing the primary oocyte converting to the secondary, and by the meiosis 1 and 2 forms the first polar body, secondary oocyte, secondary polar body, and so it is more clear in this picture, students. Already the female ovary are having millions of follicles. So these are having 46 chromosomes. So by the mitotic division, means many cells are being multiplied and they forms primary oocyte. So by birth, the female baby is carrying the primary oocyte out. Okay, so actually millions of follicles, but the number is being decreased by the time they reach the puberty. So this degeneration of follicles is called as follicular atresia. So it undergoes meiosis 1 and forms secondary oocyte. Okay, this further undergoes meiosis 2, and this will be releasing, that is the secondary polar body and the fertilized egg if there is ovulation, or otherwise if there is the no fertilization, it leads to the menstrual cycle. So this is oogenesis. Okay, so if there is no fertilization, menstruation occurs. Then in whom the menstruation occurs? Menstruation occurs in the female primates, monkeys, human. What is menstruation? This is the lining of the endometrium. This has been shed off every month in the form of blood. Okay, so this is a cyclical change taking place. Or we can also say weeping of the uterus is menstruation. Then when you see at puberty, what is the puberty age, students, in the girls? Yes, it is 13 years of age, and many changes takes place in the female body due to the various hormones released like luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, estrogen, and progesterone. So these all bring various changes in the female body by the time of puberty. Okay, the first menstruation, this begins at puberty, and this is being termed as menarche. The last menstruation is called as menopause. So menopause, it is average of the 50 years old, that is menstruation cycle stops. But nowadays we see students that the menopause age is 40 to 45 due to the various environmental factors. Then when does the menstruation occurs? Menstruation occurs every month. That is, we can take an average of 28 or 29 days if it is a regular cycle. Yes, what are the events in the menstruation? They are menstrual cycle, follicular cycle, ovulatory phase, and luteal phase. Okay, menstruation is otherwise called as bleeding. It may vary from 1 to 3 days or 1 to 5 days. So already I've said, students, that is shedding of the endometrium towards the out of the vagina. Okay, so this happens if the ovum is not fertilized. Next comes the follicular phase. So you have learned the terms follicles in the previous session, that is primary follicles to secondary to Graafian follicles. These Graafian follicles, they rupture and they release the ova. And this is also triggered by the hypothalamus that is further acting on the anterior pituitary to release the luteinizing hormones. Okay, there the luteinizing hormones will be at the peak level to release the ova. Okay, so this is the follicular phase, students, that is starts from 2nd to 13 days. Next comes the ovulatory phase. Okay, so after the follicular phase, that is at the 14th day, ova is being released. Okay, so this is the time to get pregnant. The next phase comes the luteal phase. Okay, so if the pregnancy happens, it converts to corpus luteum, and the baby is being embedded in the uterus. And if there is no pregnancy, again the menstrual cycle once again repeats. Okay, so over here, this will be seen in the diagrammatic representation, students. So this is the menstruation taking place in the first 1 to 3 days or 5 days, and next comes the follicular phase, that is 1 to 13 days. It has been converting to different types of follicles, and this Graafian follicle ruptures and releases the ovum on the 14th day. This is the ovulatory phase, and the next comes the luteal phase, means it may prepare either for menstruation, or if fertilization happens, it prepares for the pregnancy. So these are the events in menstrual cycle. Yes, what is capacitation? The sperms will be entering into the female genital tract. Okay, many changes occur to activate the sperm. This is called as capacitation. Yes, they'll be asking the question like, where does the capacitation of sperms occur? So it occurs in the female genital tract. Then comes fertilization. What is fertilization? It is the union of male and female gametes. Okay, that is the sperm and the ova combined is called as fertilization. Where the fertilization occurs? Okay, the fertilization occurs, that is when the egg is being released from the ovary. Then what is the pathway, students? That is, it moves into the fallopian tube. Just recall the parts of the fallopian tube. That is infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus. Okay, so the egg is being picked up by fimbriae, and it is been moving from the infundibulum to the ampulla. So there, the fertilization occurs in the ampulla part of the fallopian tube. Okay, so here this is the diagram showing that how the sperm is being moving into the ovum. So we have learned that nearly there are 200 to 300 million sperms per ejaculation. Then are all the sperms entering into the egg? No. Ovum, that is the egg, is being highly protected by vitelline membrane, zona pellucida layer, and also the cells of corona radiata. So it is highly protected. A sperm cannot enter into the egg so easily. Why? Means the ovum feels it as a foreign body. So there is a chance of only one sperm entry into the egg. After one sperm entry, here the membrane is being depolarized, means it blocks the further entry of the sperms. So in this way, a single sperm enters into the ovum. Okay, so over here when you see, that is the enzymes released during the copulation, that is acrosome and hyaluronidase. So this acrosome, this will be breaking the zona pellucida layer, and this hyaluronidase, this will be digesting the corona radiata layer, and this all will be enabling to penetrate into the egg. Okay, so only one sperm enters into the ovum, and this is being called as monospermy. Mono means single. So single sperm enters into the ovum. Yes, the fusion of male and female gametes. This is being called as syngamy, and the nuclear union of the fertilized egg is called as synkaryon. Yes, a few questions which are most likely to be asked in your competitive examination, like syngamy means fusion of gametes, fusion of cytoplasms, fusion of two similar spores, or fusion of two dissimilar spores. Yes, the fusion of gametes, male and female, is being described as syngamy. Sperm's acrosome has, means what are the enzymes present in the sperm? Here they are given the options like hyaluronic acid and proacrosin, hyaluronic acid and fertilization, and hyaluronidase and acrosin, fertilization and proacrosin. So the correct answer is C. Yes, a single cell, it has been developing into embryo. So this we study in the embryo development. The first one is cleavage. So here it undergoes the various mitotic divisions taking place, and they form here holoblastic cleavage. Holo means complete. Blastic means division. So here the fertilized egg divides to 2, 4, 6, 8 cells and so on. So finally 4 blastomeres are formed as a result of cleavage in the fertilized egg. Okay, next comes the morula stage. So here in this way, the cells, they are being forming by the mitotic division into a mass of cells. Here they are appearing like a ball-like appearance. Just see students, these are a ball-like appearance forming mass of cells. This is called as morula stage. Okay, here it has been converting from 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell. So this is all the cleavage, and here comes the morula stage, that is 16 to 32 celled stage. Here it appears like a ball-like appearance, and from the morula it has been converted to the next stage, that is the blastocyst. Okay, so just see students, the number of cells are increasing. Here there are 70 to 100 cells, and these cells are being termed as trophoblast. Okay, so the outermost cells are trophoblast, and just towards the inner side, that is called as inner cell mass, ICM, inner cell mass, and the center cavity is called as blastocoel. Once again, I repeat students, by the cleavage, it forms morula, morula to the blastula, and blastula to the gastrula. So morula is a 16 to 32 celled ball-like structure, and next comes the blastocyst. It is forming a trophoblast and inner cell mass, and here this is the inner cell mass, that is called as blastocoel, and next comes the gastrula. So here this is the diagram showing the implantation in the uterus. So here the morula is being occurring in the uterine tube. Okay, so this is the morula, and the blastocyst, these goes embedded in the uterus. Next comes the trophoblast layers. So when you see the trophoblast, this has been differentiated into 2 layers, that is cytotrophoblast and syncytotrophoblast. Just see in this picture students, cytotrophoblast. Okay, so here it has been comprised of cells. Next, when you see syncytotrophoblast, this is the fusion of cells and they are appearing as a syncytium. So in this way, the trophoblast is differentiated into 2 layers, cytotrophoblast and syncytotrophoblast. And when you see here, the inner mass of cells, okay, so these are forming disc-like structures and they are called as embryonic discs. Okay, these embryonic discs are again classified into 2 types, epiblast and hypoblast. So just see students, this is the epiblast and this is the hypoblast. So as there are 2 embryonic discs, it is called as bilaminar embryonic discs. Okay, after the blastocyst comes the next stage called as gastrula. So the inner cell mass has high movements. These are called as morphogenetic movements. And then what is the status of the layers? Yes, the epiblast forms a line-like structure called as primitive streak and also having a node-like appearance called as primitive node, also called as Henson's node. Then what happens to the epiblast? Okay, so over here when you see, that is epiblast is been forming primitive streak, whereas the hypoblast, it is been forming 3 layers. So it is called as trilaminar embryo. Then what are the layers? Ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Okay, so ectoderm, further it has been forming nervous tissue, that is blood cells, spinal cord, etc. So that is it has been forming the external layers. Next, when you see the mesoderm, this is the middle layer. This is the connective tissue that is forming for the blood cells, blood, muscles, etc. Next, when you take the endoderm, this is the internal layer. This forms cells for lungs, thyroid and digestive system. Okay, what are extra embryonic membranes? These are the membranes that are being enclosing the embryo in the uterus. These are called as extra embryonic membranes. And what are they? They are amnion, yolk sac, chorion, and allantois. So this will be asked in your IPA examination and also in the competitive examinations about its functions. Once again, I repeat, students, what are the 4 extra embryonic membranes? Amnion, yolk sac, chorion, and allantois. Okay, so here this is the amnion. This is the innermost layer, and here it is having amniotic fluid. And this will be protecting the embryo from the mechanical stress. Okay, and next comes the yolk sac. Yolk sac encloses the yolk. And next comes the chorion. And this chorion, this is the fusion of that is the trophoblast layers and the mesoderm. And this is helpful for the gaseous exchange. And next comes the allantois. So this allantois also is useful for the gaseous exchange. So these are the 4 extra embryonic membranes. Next comes the placenta. Placenta, it is a temporary organ that is attaching to the wall of the uterus while it is in the blastocyst stage. Okay, this is connecting embryo through a follicle, that is umbilical cord. Then here we see 2 organs are involved in the placenta formation, that is of the mother and also of the baby. That is maternal part, that is mother's blood of the mother's blood, and also fetal part. Okay, so exchange of substances will be taking place in the placenta. Just see the diagram, students. Here, this is the placenta layer. Okay, so the mother will be giving oxygen and also that is nutrients to the baby and also the blood to the baby. And the baby in turn, that is, will be removing the excretory material out. So here we can see that how the mother bears or protects the child right from the womb itself. Okay, so placenta plays an important functions in the circulation, in respiration, in digestion, and also in the excretion. Okay, then what are the hormones playing an important role in placenta? So there are 3 hormones, that is HCG, HPL, and relaxin. HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, so this has been released, that is on the 8th day after fertilization. Okay, so over here, this hormone, this has been easily been identified, that is to identify the pregnancy has come or not. The next comes the human placental lactogen. This hormone is being released for the breast development during pregnancy, but is for the milk production. What are the hormones acting on the breast during pregnancy? They are progesterone, prolactin, HPL, and oxytocin. Next comes relaxin. This has been released from the ovary. This helps to stretch the connective tissue and makes the childbirth easy. Yes, what is pregnancy? This is the gestation period. Then where the pregnancy is being protected, children? Yes, the uterus. It is the part of the uterus. Intrauterine development of the embryo or the fetus takes place. How many days? It is the pregnancy will be averaging from 266 days. That is between 38 weeks to 40 weeks. Okay, this has been called as 3 trimesters, means a mother bears the child for 9 months. So 3 trimesters means 3 months each. Then what are the various organs developing in each month? We shall be seeing. In the first month, yes, the child's heart beat will be able to listen by the stethoscope. And when you see in the second month, the limbs, that is hind limbs, forelimbs are developed and also the fingers are developed. In the third month, organs and organ systems are developed. So always a mother is being advised to be very careful during the 3 months. Next comes the 4th month, that is reproductive organs are fully developed. Means the gender will be known, whether it is a girl or a boy. Actually, the gender or the internal, the scanning is being done to see the health of the baby, but not to know the gender and kill the baby. 5th month, that is hair appear on the head and also first movements of the fetus takes place. When you take the 6th month, hair appear on the whole body and also eyelids, eyelashes appear. When you take the 7th month, that is the baby will be able to hear completely and respond to the external stimuli. 8th month, the baby will be kicking her mother inside, and the 9th month, the gestation period completes. Finally, the baby comes out. That is being called as parturition. Okay, so delivering the baby. Yes, recall the layers of uterus. They are perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. Okay, then which layer is helpful for parturition? It is myometrium. Okay, that oxytocin that is been triggered, that is from the hypothalamus, further triggers or stimulates the contraction of the uterine smooth muscles. Okay, and by this the baby comes out. This is called as fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so the head is been coming out first, students. So here from the uterus, the baby comes out from the, that is cervix canal, and from the vagina towards the outside, towards the beautiful world. Okay, so this is called as fetal ejection reflex, and this is a positive feedback, we can say, because oxytocin is giving signals, and here the relaxin is being helpful to stretch the connective tissue, and the finally baby comes out, or the delivery becomes easy. Okay, after the baby is born, the child should be feeded. This is called as lactation. Okay, so the child is being feeded by the mother's milk. Okay, then what is the substance present in the mother's milk? It is colostrum. This is the first form of the milk produced while giving milk to her child, and this will be improving the immunity of the baby. Okay, here are a few questions which are probably asked in your competitive examinations. Name the lytic enzyme that is released by the sperm. Okay, so here they are given options like hyaluronidase, trypsin, helicase, none of the above. So the right answer is A. Corpus luteum, what does it secretes? Whether it is luteinizing hormone, estradiol, estrogen, or progesterone. Yes, it is progesterone secreted by the corpus luteum. Yes, what is the correct sequence of the embryo development? Right now we have studied the sequence, students. Here they are given various options. What is the right answer? Yes, right. The first one, students, it is from the gamete to zygote, zygote to morula, morula to blastula, blastula to gastrula. So this is the sequence of the embryo development. Fetal ejection reflex in human female is induced by. So here they are given the options like oxytocin release, differentiation of mammary glands, fully developed fetus and placenta, none of the above. So what is the hormone, students? Yes, it is the oxytocin. This has been triggering or sending the signals. So fetal ejection reflex in human female is induced by A, that is oxytocin release. Where do the fertilized eggs in human females get implanted in the uterus? Okay, so here where does the implantation take place is the question. So here options are, that is after 1 month of fertilization, after 2 months, or about 7 days, or after 3 weeks. Yes, it is 7 days of fertilization. Okay, so in the 1 week it has been traveling from the uterine tube, and it been moved, and the 7th day it gets implanted in the uterus. So the 7th day is the day of implantation. Which of the following is the temporary organ that connects a mother to her fetus? Here the options are placenta, chorion, endometrium, none of the above. Yes, placenta acts as a temporary organ connecting the mother to her fetus during pregnancy. When does lactation begin? Lactation means giving milk or milk production. Okay, when the pregnancy ends, when the first trimester ends, during parturition, before parturition? Yes, when the pregnancy ends. The structure which implants in the endometrium is termed as embryo, zygote, morula, blastocyst. Yes, the right answer is blastocyst. Blastocyst gets embedded in the endometrium. Capacitation occurs in female genital tract, vasa deferens, vasa efferens, vagina. Yes, it is the sperms are released and getting contact in the female genital tract. So the right answer is A, female genital tract. Follicular atresia is formation of corpus luteum, degeneration of follicles till puberty, formation of Graafian follicles, or increase in the number of follicles. Okay, so already we have learned, students, atresia means degeneration. So degeneration of follicles till puberty is called as follicular atresia. Which membrane plays the greatest role in nutrient and waste exchange, whether it is amnion, chorion, allantois, or yolk sac? Yes, this is the chorion, students, playing an important role for the nutrient and waste exchange, as it is having chorionic villi. The foldings, these are being present. Yes, students, today we have learned about gametogenesis, the formation of male and female gametes, that is releasing the egg and sperms, menstrual cycle, the various events, that is menses, follicular phase, ovulatory phase, luteal phase, fertilization, gastrulation, and the formation of various organs, organogenesis, placenta formation, parturition, and lactation. Okay, so this questions like they'll be asking in your 4-mark, students, in your IPE examination. Write an essay on different events that occur during the development of a human. Okay, and give a brief account of oogenesis in a woman. Comment why a woman should not be blamed for giving birth to daughters. Explain the placenta in a woman. Okay, so here that is, you know that the puberty age of the men, that is 11 years, and the woman, it is 13 years. So that is, they are able to release the eggs and sperms, but not that is a legal age for marriage. The government has proposed a legal age, that is for the men it is 21 and the woman it is 18 years. So why it has been proposed? Because a female body is not ready to bear the child and to give birth. So the legal age is being given, and also we should never encourage sex determination before birth. Let a female be born, let she be living. And stem cell banking, always preserve the stem cells, and this will be helpful for our future. And let's respect our mother who has taken so much pain in giving birth to us and also bearing us right now, and respect the motherland. So these are the various attributes which I have referred in the preparation of my topic. Yes, I thank right now Satyanarayan Reddy sir, Additional Director, Model Schools, Rajiv sir, Joint Director, Model Schools, Principals, Coordinators Shailaja Madam, Vijayalakshmi Madam, and also Satish sir, my friends, and also the whole webinar team who encouraged me and made this presentation successful. Thank you, Madam.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. Could you please explain what is the use of stem cells? Why we have to preserve stem cells?
Yeah, Madam. Okay, the stem cells, that is over here, they undergo multiplication. So the multiplication of the cells, due to this, they are being preserved, and when there is an emergency like any accidents, these cells can be taken, that is to give life. So that's why the stem cells are being preserved in the banks called as stem cell banks.
Yes, even the siblings, if they get any of the genetical disorders or anything, if they have lost any of the internal
Yes,
things, that can be, the stem cells can repair the things.
Yes, the stem cells can be repaired. So these have been present in the bone marrow and also in the umbilical cord. So that's why that the government is encouraging to preserve the stem cells.
Stem cells. Okay, and one more query is there. Why you have asked, like, why mother should not be blamed to have a male child or a female baby?
Yes, yes. When we see the chromosomes, that is a karyotype, that is male are having X and Y chromosomes and the female are having XX chromosomes. So it is the male responsible that is deciding the sex of the child, not the female. So there is an ignorance that it is the female who is responsible. So that's why I have said, madam, that is giving awareness about this
because mother will possess both X chromosomes only. Whereas the men will possess X and
Y chromosomes.
If Y sperm has fertilization, it is taking place, then the male baby will be born.
Yes,
isn't
madam.
it?
Yes,
if
madam.
X chromosomes from the father is contributed, then the female baby will be born. So always, children, remember that you cannot blame only the mother. Mother don't have, she cannot be the only member to blame. It is the father's chromosomes or the father gamete sperms which sperm will fertilize, leads to fertilization, isn't it? Thank you very much, ma'am, for the very informative and elaborative explanation. Students, please write notes and you can revisit the channel n number of times for this session, so that if you revisit what happens, if you go on listen clearly, you can have a better understanding with all the diagrams and your running notes. Without your help, without your responses for the session, you cannot learn the things. So please be firm in learning in this pandemic situations. So have a great day, students. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam.